Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today it's Heat 1 of the Fountain Pen Tournament for 2023. My first pair of pens, chosen at random, we've got this one, a PenBBS 494. Nice piston filling pen. And we've also got the Wingsung 601. Again, piston filling pen, but this one's got a hooded nib. So join me now down on the mat. We'll take a look at the pens, do some size comparisons, weights and measures, a writing sample. I'll give you some of my thoughts on each pen, and then it's over to you to vote for the winner. Welcome down to the table. So here we've got the two pens of Heat number 1. We've got the PenBBS 494, and we've also got the Wingsung 601. Let's jump in and take a look through the bodies. So we'll start with the 494. It's a plastic body. It's very light. We've got a slight dome up here at the top. We taper quickly down to where we've got a clip that looks like it's just screwed on between the cap and this top finial. Clip. Fairly stiff. It will spring a little bit. It does go over my cloth material fairly easy. That's the main thing. The cap then quickly comes out and then comes down to an end where we've got a noticeable step down to the body. The body, about the same width all the way down. I love it being transparent, means I can see my ink. Yeah, it's a red ink, you can tell that. You can also see the piston mechanism. This is a piston filled pen. And then here at the top, we've got the piston filling cap. Very, very nice. The Wingsung 601 metal cap. At the top, we've got a slight point there. That looks like that's a white plastic as opposed to metal. So it looks like it's meant to be like a gem, I'm guessing. We come down. The cap itself, tapers out quite nicely there. And here's the clip. I keep moving this. I don't know, I should have my hands chopped off. I maybe should glue this on. The clip though, very stiff. I can't even get my fingers underneath it. It still does over my materials nicely though. Bottom of the cap. We've actually got some writing on here. So there we go. Looks like we've got some Chinese characters, then 601, and then at the back, made in China. The cap. There we go. It comes down to the body. Again, there's a drop off. The body, I like this. It's about the same width till here. Now, you struggle to see it, and it really, really is difficult to see. But there's a little seam where the body joins this end finial. This is because this is a piston pen, and it's been done so well you can't see the join. It really, I do struggle. And after I've had this in the drawer for a while, I have to think about it when I come to try and fill it. Where is it? Where does that piston end? That's how thin it is. Let's take the caps off both of these. So with the PenBBS, I'm going to put my finger there. There's one turn. There's two turns. There's three turns. About 3.5, nearly 3 3/4 turns to take this off. Let's do the same with the Wingsung. Pulls off. Dead simple. Just going to pop these two next to each other and we'll compare the nibs. With the PenBBS, this is a marshmallow nib. Very nice nib. It's a fine point. I enjoy writing with this. It's a nice nib to write with. We'll see that shortly. The Wingsung 601. That's one of these hooded nibs. You can really not see a lot of it. I'm just going to turn this around. You can see a little bit there. So the nib, can't really talk too much. All I can do is say what it's like when I write with it. Again, I've knocked everything offline. Overall, both nice pens. In terms of fit in the hand, fits nicely unposted. Does post nicely. Although it looks a bit too long, it actually feels nicer because of that additional weight. It is a very light pen, which we'll see in a minute. With the 601, here we go with the 601. Again, nice fit unposted, that's how I tend to use it. Does post. Again, makes it feel a bit longer, but there's not much weight in the cap either, so it doesn't feel back heavy to me. So I can use that one nicely unposted as well. Two very different looking pens. Similarity, they're both piston fillers. Let's swap over and we'll do some size comparisons. Here I've brought in my two standard pens, Pilot Metropolitan and a Lamy Safari. The PenBBS ever so slightly longer than the other three, but the other three seem very much of a similar size. Let's take the caps off. With the cap off, all four pens very similar in size. The Lamy maybe slightly bigger by a couple of millimeters. You can see here that the PenBBS nib very similar in size to that Pilot Metropolitan. I'm not going to show these posted because I tend to find these pens are all right to be used unposted. So let's swap over and look at some pens in roughly the same price range. So the pens I brought in, a Wingsung 3013 vacuum filler, $8 Aussie. The PenBBS 494, $8 Aussie. The Wingsung 601, that was 27 Aussie dollars. And the Mahjong T5, also 27 Aussie dollars. That last three, they're all piston filling pens. Number 6 nib there on the Mahjong. Let's pop the caps on. With the caps on, this 3013 ever so slightly longer, but I would say the other pens, again, within millimeters, about the same length. They all look quite nice though. I do personally, I like this transparent nature of these pens. I love seeing the ink sloshing around. Yes, I know both of the other two have got ink windows, but it's just not the same as seeing it sloshing around in the body. Let's swap over and we'll fetch in the rule of measuring. Here's a rule of measuring. We'll start with the PenBBS 494. So with the cap on, 14.1 centimeters. Uncapped, 12.6 centimeters. Posted, that's 15.7 centimeters. The body at its widest part just here, just above this, what looks like a O-ring, that's 1.15 centimeters. The cap, 1.32 centimeters. And then the section, very thin, goes from 0.91, about here, which is the narrowest point, up to 0.99 up here near the top. So very narrow. We'll fetch in the 601. So laying this down. So with the 601, the length 13.8 centimeters. So it's shorter. Unposted, it's 12.8 centimeters, so slightly longer by about 2 millimeters. Posted, that comes in at roughly 15.3 centimeters. The body at its widest point, which is here where you can see the little ink windows, that's 1.16 centimeters. The cap, that also came in at the widest point of 1.16 centimeters. Difficult to measure the section on this one, so I went from about here, which is where I would normally hold it. So that was 0.8 up to 1.17 centimeters. Again, it's a thin pen, a little bit wider than the other one, but still a thin pen. Let's swap over and fetch in the scales of weighing. Here we've got the scales of weighing. We'll start with that 494 again. Full pen, 15 grams. Fairly light. The body, remember we've got ink, you can see the ink, 10 grams, or 11 grams. The cap, 4 grams. Very light. The Wingsung 601, the full pen, 20 grams, so that's 5 grams more. It is noticeable when you're writing with it, that little bit extra weight. The body, 13 grams, so the body is nearly the same as the entire weight of the other pen. The cap, 6 grams. We'll move this out of the way and we'll fetch in the notepad of testing. Here we've got the notepad of testing. This is Oxford Optic paper. Really nice fountain pen friendly paper. I really enjoy using this. We'll start with the PenBBS. So I'm going to do these both unposted. So we've got a PenBBS 494. As we saw earlier, it's a fine nib and it cost a whopping $8 Aussie. The ink is by Oster. And it's Rubine. It's a nice ruby type red colour. Quite enjoyed this ink. Drying times, so we go immediate. 10 seconds. Nearly dry there. 30 seconds. 30 seconds and that's nice and dry. Let's move the mic down to the page so you can hear the pen write. That's nice. I enjoy writing with this pen. It's got a little bit of feedback to it. It's really nice. It's not overly in your face. There's a nice tactile feel as well. I can feel, as I'm writing, I can feel it coming through the pen. Line variation. There's no pressure. It's with pressure. I didn't expect any difference. It's a steel nib. And none with pressure, none with pressure, none and with pressure. Flow test. Move the page up slightly. There we go. Now we'll go for the Wingsung 601. So we have here a Wingsung 601. And this has also got a fine nib. And it cost 27 Aussie dollars. The ink is Diamine Oxblood. And yes, I know it would be ideal to have the same ink in the pens, but given that this whole tournament's going to be going on for a good 2 to 3 months, I don't want to be using the same ink all the time. So yes, all the pens have got different inks in them, and that will slightly affect it. But I do try and pick inks that match the pen, and I like Oxblood going with this colour. Drying times, there's immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, still smudging quite a bit, 1 minute. After 1 minute, that's nice and dry. Let's move the mic down to the page so you can hear the pen writing. Again, it's very similar to the other one. It's a really nice feel to it. Not 100% sure how I feel about the hooded nib. I've got 2 or 3 of these now. I am planning to do a comparison between them, but it's nice. It's got a nice feedback to it. Line variation. There's no pressure. That's with pressure. None, with, none, with, none, and with. Flow test. Flows really well. That's nice going across the page. So what are my thoughts on these two pens? They're very nice. They're very different. You know, we've got the lightness here. And although it's only 5 grams more, I do like the weight that I'm getting in that 601. In terms of pen looks, I like this transparent nature. It looks alright, but not really something I could take to a meeting. This looks more elegant, and certainly I'd be happy taking that into a business meeting with me. Build quality. You know, the cap here is loose. We've got all these turns here to take this cap off. It feels, to be honest, it feels cheap. Well, it is cheap, isn't it, really, at $8? With the Wingsung 601, it feels more solid. It feels like there's been more attention paid to it. I like the metal cap. Not too keen here on this ink window. I know I haven't talked about that, but the ink window, struggle to see it. I like the way here we've got that the filling mechanism and the body, it's seamless. It looks so nice. I do prefer the look of this, and I do prefer the build quality of this as well. Writing experience, very nice. You know, both enjoyable, both thin. That's the problem. Because they're thin, it just makes my hands feel a little bit cramped after I've been writing with them for a while. If I fetch in my Tomoe River paper, the first page here, this is the 494. It's nice. I'm calling out again. It's light. Writes nice. It's not scratchy. Puts down that really nice line. Calling out about the transparent nature. So far, I mean, I've said here, there's nothing which puts me off the pen, but equally, there's nothing that excites me about it. With the Wingsung, nice looking pen. You know, I do like the way the hooded nib looks, just not convinced about the way it writes. It's nice, so it's very smooth again, glides over the paper. I have called out on here that on some other papers, it feels like I'm stabbing into the paper. On this Oxford Optic, I didn't get that, but I did on this 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. Like the colour match, and again, calling about that piston filling knob. Quite enjoyable. Ink flow, well, had no issues with ink flow. It does seem like the 601 might be slightly wetter, but again, because I'm not using the same ink, it's hard to be 100% accurate about that, because is it feeling wetter because it's a wetter pen, or is it that the ink is a wetter ink? So you need to weigh that up when you're thinking about it. I do think in terms of value for money, $8 does what I want, lets me get ideas out of my head onto paper in a way I enjoy. Good value. The Wingsung 601, yeah, it's a little bit more. It looks nicer though, it feels nicer. Still does the same thing, lets me get ideas out of my head and onto paper in a way I enjoy. All in all, they're both really nice pens. So now it's over to you. I'll be opening up the poll on my YouTube community page. Please go on there, vote which one do you think should be the winner of this heat, and then go forward into the semi-finals. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your thoughts on these pens? Do you like them? Here's your chance to express that. Go over to the YouTube page, the community tab, and in there you'll find a poll where you can pick the winner of today's matchup. In a week's time, that's a week from publication of this video, I'll take the winning pen and I'll do a quick YouTube short video to announce it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.